Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to me. I can't see who's here yet. I'm late. Of course I'm late. What would you expect? I don't know if I'm that late. What did I say, 6:30? So hopefully people will come on soon because I wasn't gonna come on, but I haven't washed my hair in days. So I thought, if I say I'm gonna go live on the air, I have to get ready and take a shower and get to it. So today we are starting with Mai Tais. Might I interest you in a cocktail? Okay, so I've been wanting to do this drink for quite a while, but I couldn't find the right rum. And I don't know if anybody's there. If somebody's there, type something, because it's not saying that it's live yet, and it's confusing me. Maybe I'll sit down and chat while we're waiting. All right, can you see me? So the story of the Mai Tai that we all know and love. Well, actually, we don't all know and love it. I mean, the Mai Tai that I'm used to is when you're sitting on a beach somewhere in the Caribbean or an island, and you get a Mai Tai and it's filled with tropical fruits and orange juice and pineapple, and you can only have one because it's so full of sugar. I can't sit. I'm too blah, blah, blah when I sit. So I'm going to talk about the original, the Trader Vic Mai Tai that was invented in, let me check because I don't want to be lying, fake news and all, in 1944. Hi, Barb's sake, how are you? It was invented by, let me get his name right, Victor J. Bergeron, better known as Trader Vic. It showcased a 17-year-old, I don't know the name of it, Ray and Nephew Jamaican pot distilled rum. So if you wanted to make a traditional, we are going to go through the traditional way, and then we're going to go through the modern way because we don't have all of these very distinctive syrups and whatnot laying around our home. At least I don't. I even searched for them and I couldn't find them, and I didn't feel like ordering them on Amazon and blah, blah, blah. So hi Beverly, we are going to talk about the traditional Mai Tai, and then we're gonna make a sort of non-traditional, easier version, mixed upologist kind of Mai Tai. Okay, so supposedly when he mixed up this rum drink using Jamaican rum for his friends, he gave one and the woman proclaimed MAI TA'I ROA, which meant out of this world. So nobody could say MAI TA'I ROA, so they just shortened it and they called it a Mai Tai. I think that's a cute story. But unfortunately there was already a bar, Don the Beachcomber, claimed that Trader Vic's recipe was a take on his. Well, he had started his in 1933. But as it came down the pike and more people tasted both, they realized even though Trader Vic might have appropriated it using rum, they were two different things entirely. His had twice the amount of ingredients: ginger syrup, honey, club soda, orange juice, which all sounds great to me, but it wasn't the traditional Trader Vic Mai Tai that people have loved for over, oh my God, what is it, 55, 75 years, I guess. So happy anniversary Mai Tai. What else? The Royal Mai Tai, that is just in case you're out and you want a not so martini like, you know, Mai Tai. If you want it with pineapple juice, then you just ask for a Royal Mai Tai, and there you go. And that'll be finished with all the fun garnishes, the pineapple, the cherries, and everything else. Also, there was no dark rum floater in an original Mai Tai. What that happened was back in 1970 in San Francisco in a bar, this old guy wanted a rum floater. He actually wanted, what was it called? A demerara, which is a type of sugar, more molasses-like, very thick, very rich. And he wanted a demerara rum, and they called it the old way, not because it was predating the regular Mai Tai, but because the guy was old. So I just love that all of these stories have such cute little backstories to them. I mean, there's reasons why we drink the way we drink, certain rums and certain vodkas and certain champagnes, and that's another thing. So let's get down to the ingredients. All right, so So you can use, of course, in your own home, you can use anything. But if you were going to make a traditional Mai Tai, that's what we're talking about first, you would use a Jamaican pot distilled, because that's the purest. So it's a Jamaican pot distilled rum. Some of the brands that are great, actually, the top brand for any Mai Tai is an Appleton Estate. So if you see Appleton Estate and you want a traditional Mai Tai, hi Nicole, nice to see you. Appleton Estate, I think it's Reserve. Appleton Reserve would be your top go-to Jamaican. I actually did not see that in either store, and I really, once I read about this other type that I'll talk about in a minute, I kind of wanted to give this a try because I've had Appleton and I've had those types of Jamaican pot distilled rums. They're wonderful. So brands that are Jamaican are Appleton Reserve, Smith & Cross Navy Strength, Hamilton Navy Strength, and Denzian Merchant. I honestly, this is a little bit cheaper. This is your Myers Original Dark Jamaican rum. I think it's perfect for a floater. Okay. So we've talked about our Jamaican rums for our Mai Tais. Now let's switch to what I think is a more interesting, classy Mai Tai, a chic Mai Tai. It's rum, but it's, I don't know how to say it in French, but it's R-H-U-M, obviously rum, but it's not a mistype and it's not a brand name. It's actually rum, is R-U-H-M, is from the Caribbean island, the French island of Martinique, and it is only produced there. So just, hi Robin, just in the same way that champagne can only be produced in Champagne, France, and Prosecco is an Italian sparkling wine, and other drinks, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but all the differences between Scotch and Irish whiskey, and all the differences between Kentucky and bourbon. There's a reason why they can only be produced. Rum from Martinique, if you see R-H-U-M, and this happens to be a great one, it's about $30 for this bottle, which, you know, is a little bit pricey, but you're not going to be drinking it all the time, and you're not dumping this in a pitcher to make Mai Tais for your friends. For that, go right ahead and just get the Bacardi white, you know, Bacardi silver. But for a nice sipping one, the rum from Martinique, that's what we'll be using. This one has, I had to write it down, it has bright floral notes. They're called rum agricole, agricole, I don't know, but they are different than the Jamaican rums, and I can't wait to mix this up for you guys tonight. This one has bright floral notes, it has banana, it has horchata, which makes sense because it's gonna be used with almonds, and horchata is made out of almonds. So this rum will be perfect for our Mai Tai. So first ingredient in a Mai Tai is rum. Then next you go to your curacao or your triple sec. For our purposes, we're using triple sec because that's what I have, and there's not that much of a difference between the two. The difference between curacao, I hope I'm saying it right, and triple sec is made from, it's a grain-based alcohol, so it's always clear. Cointreau is always a triple sec liqueur. So that's good to know, because if you use triple sec Cointreau or Grand Marnier in your margaritas too, know that if you have a cheap $7 or $8 triple sec at home, you really don't need to go out and buy a fancy Cointreau. Same thing if you're at a restaurant. And there's a difference between a Cadillac margarita, which is the Grand Marnier, or just triple sec. Here's the difference. Curacao is a brandy and cognac based liqueur. And it's pale colored or orange colored or even that wacky blue colored. You know, you see the blue curacao in your fun island drinks. So the curacao is the same thing as triple sec. It's just an orange liqueur. It's just based with brandy or, I knew I was going to forget that, brandy or cognac. Whereas in triple sec is a grain alcohol based one, and it's clearer. So triple sec will give you the Cointreau taste, and curacao would give you the Grand Marnier. So that's good to know. So next time I'm out and about, I'm going to buy Grand Marnier and my triple sec, and I don't have to overlap. But I don't buy curacao. Never have. No, don't know why. I just prefer triple sec. All right. The next thing in a Mai Tai would be 100% pure, unadulterated lime from a fresh lime. And what you would do is you would just slice it in half, and you would take your, oh, I have it right here. You wouldn't squeeze it, you wouldn't put it in the lemon squeezer. You would just take your lime, and if you have an old-fashioned juicer, that's all you would do. And then you would save that lime, and we'll talk about that later. But again, I'm not making a traditional one because it's a Thursday night. I'm not having a party, and it's just us. So I'm using my favorite, Nellie's Key West lime juice. The next thing we have to talk about for Mai Tai is orgeat. Orgeat, like O-R-G-E-A-T, but you pronounce it like orgeat, and the Z is like jaja, so orgeat, orgeat syrup. Orgeat syrup, or O-R-G-E-A-T, is made with almonds, sugar, and then either rose water, which I used to have, but I didn't realize you had to keep it in the fridge, so I had to throw it out before today, or orange water. You can get them in any supermarket, Trader Joe's. Most stores carry rose water or orange water. I will include how to make orgeat syrup if anybody is so daring. Diane out in California. We've been talking Mai Tais for 2 months, and I don't know if she found her orgeat or if she did what I did and chickened out and just bought the Tirani almond syrup. So orgeat is just a homemade, or you can buy it in the store if you can find it. It's just a homemade almond syrup made with almonds, sugar, and rose or orange water. For our purposes, our Make Mai Tai Thursday happy again is almond syrup. The next, see why I haven't done Mai Tais all summer? There's so much in them. The next thing would be demerara syrup, and that would be made, so it's sort of like this, that would be made with demerara sugar, 2 to 1, so 2 tablespoons, sugar to water, just like you make any simple syrup. So it would be a demerara syrup. The same thing I had turbinado cane sugar. So turbinado is steam cleaned, and it's raw, and it has a very light molasses flavor, whereas the demerara is a long-grained, completely coarse raw. Sorry. Demerara is a long-grain sugar that has uniform crystals and is very coarse and raw. But turbinado is steam cleaned. For our purposes, we're using turbinado. So as you can see, if you can't find orgeat, buy almond. If you don't have fresh limes, use the other stuff. If you don't have curacao, use triple sec. If you don't have good rum, use Bacardi. But if you're just making this, go out and buy a nice bottle. And just, if you have brown sugar, that could substitute too, but not the kind you bake with. It would have to be like the raw sugar crystals, like sugar in the raw. You can't make a simple syrup really with the brown sugar. I mean, you can, but for a drink for today, the Mai Tai, use turbinado or demerara. So, okay, that's a lot of words, a lot of fancy words, a lot of $2 words. Well, we're gonna get started. The only thing I need is my shaker. I wish I had island music playing. That would be so nice. Okay, so into a cocktail shaker, you are going to take about 12 ounces of preferably crushed ice. For my purposes, I didn't use crushed, even though I have it on my fridge, because then I would have to sit there and crush it. It would have melted by the time I was ready to go. So about 12 ounces of crushed ice. Don't use the whole cubes because you really have to get it nice and frothy, and the way you get it frothy is with crushed ice or like really fine ice from an ice machine. Alrighty, so we've got our crushed ice. Then we are going to take our rum, Martinique. And where is, okay, right here. I have my other one too. This one has all the measuring things on it, so I'm going to be really succinct in telling you about that. 3/4 of an ounce, I'm gonna mark it off, All right, so I went 1 ounce. Sue me. All right, 3/4 of an ounce of rum, and then the same, 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice. Again, it would be wonderful if that was fresh lime. Can't have everything though. 1/2 ounce of triple sec. Quarter, oh, I didn't even open this. How's everybody's summer going? I was so into doing this, and then summer hit me smack in the face, and then I had to get my daughter Jane ready for college. She's down there 2 weeks now, and then when I got home I had to quarantine, but I also got a cold, not a COVID cold. All right, let me, before I start talking, 1/4 of an ounce of the almond syrup, and okay, so I'll give you the recipe for that too. It's just a simple syrup. It's nice. Oh my God, it smells amazing. Smells amazing. All right, and then all you're gonna do, after you get all those ingredients, give it a really, really good shake. Now, because I'm not using crushed ice and I didn't measure my ice, you're supposed to use a double old-fashioned. I don't know if this is technically a double, so I don't want it to come out without having all my liquids in it first. I don't want a whole cup of ice with no alcohol. Of course I don't. So I'm gonna pour my Mai Tai in first, and then I'm gonna throw the ice in. Oh, it's almost perfect. Look at that. Now, if you were doing it the traditional way, where's my mint? Where's my mint? You would do it, you would take that lime that was spent, that you used your sort of grinder, I don't know what that's called, the juice of 1/2 a lime for your drink, and you would float that down, and you would put a mint leaf, and it would look like a little island with a floating palm tree. But we're not that cute today, sorry. Oh, Robin. Ooh, hello. You should just get in your car and come over here and have one of these on my porch before the rain hits. Oh, it's a little sweet, the first sip, but I can definitely 100% taste the almond and the tamarindo. So I would say, if nothing else, you have to go to the expense of doing, not the expense of your time, to doing your simple syrup, turbinado or demerara. And if you can, I mean, I have it right here, how to make your own orgeat. You can do that, but it's labor intensive, and unless I was having a tiki party, I know Tom will be like, don't get any ideas. Unless I was having a tiki party, I don't think I would go to the expense of it, so I think picking up a $6 bottle of almond syrup would be fine. I think doing your own key lime would be great, but again, just for a couple people. This is very good. Just don't use that little green, disgusting plastic thing from the market. And this is, I wanted to smell it. It's very nice. It's not flat and bitter like Bacardi would be. This is delicious. Okay, so I didn't float it because I wanted to taste it. So now I'm just gonna try it. Just to show you, a little float right on top. Look at that. Hi Karen, how are you? Ooh, and that's when it kicks in. That's when you know you're drinking rum. That is delicious. Alrighty. Very good. If you want to stay with me, I'm going over here. Yes, I'm carrying my camera, and I'm gonna bring my drink because we have another, sorry, it's a little darker over here. I have another recipe for you, not totally prepared, but that's okay. The only thing I need is a cutting board. And a knife. All right, so So my other idea for tonight was something islandy because I was gonna try to do coconut shrimp or coconut this. Yay, you're back. Yes, I am, Karen. How are you doing in Maryland? You can come up to New Jersey now without quarantining. I had a quarantine. I quarantined and then I tested negative for COVID, so then I went out and about in the world, but yeah, I came back from Alabama, so I had a quarantine. All right, now let's talk about, if you want to stay with me, stay with me. If you want to move on and go watch Jeopardy and have your cocktail, I won't be insulted. But I figured I might as well do something because I haven't been on so long. So we're talking tuna. I was lucky enough to have great friends, shout out to Cindy and Jason, that brought us fresh tuna. We went tuna fishing and we got some tuna and it was just delicious. But so now my mind is tuna, 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 because once I have something I love, I have to have it again. I actually got these steaks from my local market, frozen, but wild caught frozen, and they literally cut them out of the tuna. They're not pre-formed, absolutely beautiful. If you can't find them, that's Spike, he smells the tuna. If you can't find them, you can just get a nice piece of tuna. I just happen to find these. They make great tuna burgers. If you see them, pick them up. Always use wild caught. That's my only tip. Wild caught tuna. And you just don't want farmed fish. You don't want farmed salmon or farmed tuna. So this is gonna be little tuna bites. Now this was frozen. Oh, that's another thing. If you get fresh tuna at the store, or if your friend is gracious enough to bring you some, if you're not gonna use it right then and there, put it in the freezer, at least for 24 hours. When you take it out, it's so much easier to cut if it's a little bit frozen. This has been sitting out in lukewarm water for about an hour, just to get it little tuna bites. I don't think I've ever made this. I think I made something with salmon. What do I know? I can't remember anything. And now that I'm drinking, I won't remember a thing, but. All right, so just cut your tuna. Hi Caroline. This recipe is for about a pound of tuna. Obviously I'm not using a pound, but we'll walk you through it. All right, the first thing you're going to do is, well, I use this. I bought a huge box of this. So this is your gluten-free soy sauce. So I'm gonna use about 4 packets, which is about 4 tablespoons. Each one is a tablespoon. So 4 tablespoons of gluten-free soy sauce. Or I use this sometimes too. From Trader Joe's. Get this if you like to cook with soy sauce. Coconut aminos, much better, much better for you. No MSG or anything like that. Sorry, I gotta have this drink. It's delicious. Okay, and then we're gonna take 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. Have to watch because I've wasted about half a bottle. It has no spout and it pours out so quick that twice already I've over poured. I went through it, like this bottle is only from like 2 weeks ago. It just spilled out. So there's a handy dandy tip. Check the top of your, yes, Caroline, it's a new shirt. Went to Macy's yesterday to return something for someone in the family, and I saw it and I thought, okay, this would work for the show. It'll work for anything, really. It's nice and light. So as fall starts and it gets chillier out at night, and then we're gonna do 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar. I don't have rice wine, I'm just using my Kikkoman's rice vinegar. You just need an acid in there. If you don't have rice wine vinegar or rice vinegar, white vinegar's fine. Don't stress yourself out. It'll have enough of an Asian flavor. 1 tablespoon of honey. I'm using raw honey. I love the raw honey. Alrighty. Now this marinade is for about 20 minutes for the tuna. Obviously I'm just gonna do some and then I'll leave the rest in to make for Tommy for dinner. Okay, and then 1 teaspoon of minced ginger. So let's talk ginger for a second. I don't always have minced ginger. I don't always have fresh ginger, rather, the ginger root. So what I would do in that case is take a little bit of this and mix it with water and just add it in, or just you could just add some in like that. Or I've got this great stuff. I keep this. Oh, sorry, I wasn't letting you smell it. I was letting you see it. Ginger paste. Ginger paste is great because it keeps in the fridge like horseradish. See? And the beauty is fresh ginger. I forget I forget I have it. It goes under my lettuce or something in the veggie drawer. And then I see it shriveled up. So once it's shriveled, throw it out. And it also makes for easy recipes if it's already like that. Same concept as, you know, garlic that's already chopped in a jar. Okay, and then that's it. Then you would just take your tuna. Now, this would also be a wonderful marinade for shrimp, obviously. Shrimp and soy sauce and chicken. Why not? Why not cube some chicken? I have that, you know, that Purdue, it's kind of like almost in a Ziploc and it's already cooked with grill marks on it. It's kind of gross, but it's great for quesadilla or to top a salad. I'm sure if I marinated that and heated that up, it would be great too. So look at that. Oh, doesn't that look good? Okay. Now, most people, I don't know about you, but I don't have sesame seeds usually because I don't see the point of them. I know they add a tiny bit of flavor, but I don't prefer to eat tiny little seeds. I don't know why. It's just it's my bugaboo. Let's just say it's my bugaboo. But I do love me some coarse black pepper. So I am going to, and this is the way we made it the other night. We were trying all different ways of making fresh tuna on the grill. And I said, well, a lot of restaurants just coat them in black pepper. So just take it. Don't do the bottom, just the sides. All right, look at that beauty. And then, oh, got to put a little bit, I don't know, can you see the pan? It's very hot. All right, so if all the tuna was ready to go, you hear that sizzle? Love a sizzle. Some people ask about, can you do it on the grill outside? Of course you can. If you were gonna do that, I would just make sure your grill is really clean and then spray it with, you know, your Pam or something. Or of course, before it's heated, take your, take a rag, one of your kitchen rags, and put olive oil on it. And once it's heated, and then the olive oil on, and then it won't stick, or just spray the Pam, whatever's easiest. And then all we do is 15 to 20 seconds per side. So who's gonna count for me? Roseanne, you gonna count? Hi, Eileen. So the same way you put them down, it should be the same way you should turn them. Then you'll remember to turn them all at about the same time. Personally, I wouldn't even do anything like this on the grill. It's just so much easier. It's hot outside. I know that's why I've been at the beach, been staying inside in the air condition. I had a cold. Yesterday was the first day I felt like 100%. It's just congestion. Us northerners aren't used to that south pollen. The pollen in the southern states is way different than what we're used to, and it just blew up my head like a balloon. So I've been congested for like 2 weeks. But I feel great now. I'm back on with my friends, and I am going to use tongs . All right, so I'll make 4 of them. I'll save them. I'll let them marinate for a while. What did I want to talk about? What else? Okay, so a little dipping sauce for this. If you wanted to make some of that soy sauce ginger marinade with honey, you don't need to, just take like a little bit out before you put the tuna in, and put it in a bowl, and you could have extra marinade to dip it in. Or you can do what I like to do. I get this at the store. It's wasabi powder. You can dump a little in and then put just a few drops. Just a few drops, or else it'll just be like liquid. We used so much of it yesterday. I actually ordered out Thai food. Haven't had Thai food in a long time. All right, so I'm gonna take my little lemon plate. I'm just gonna do a little smear of my wasabi. Actually, just 2 more minutes. Hi, Maria. Maria, how are you? I hope everybody is having a great summer, and I also hope everybody who sent their kids off to college are, I hope their kids are keeping safe, wearing their masks out. It's hard. We don't want them to come home, even though we love them. We want them to have fun. And those that have high schoolers, God bless you. Middle schoolers, God bless you even more. The little ones don't know whether they're at school or at home, but anybody who has to homeschool this fall, I don't relish the fact. Come and commiserate on my porch with a drink. Anyone with 6th to 8th graders, first round is on me. We feel for you. All right, guys. And that is a bingo. Isn't that great? All right, so I hope I cheered you up during this boring week. To me, it was boring. I was home doing nothing. End of summer. I hope everyone has a great weekend if I don't see you. And again, I will go right in there now on my computer and put this recipe up. But I had a ball. Thank you. Thank you for getting me motivated, putting on makeup for the first time in weeks. And that's it. I hope you liked the tuna bites, and we will see you soon. Take care.